Hey y'all, I am back. This is still part two, but the enemy do not want me to share my story with y'all. So I've been getting attacked and experiencing so many obstacles and technology problems. Okay, but we're gonna get this out. I'm not thinking about him. By whatever him and his stupid goons, we're going somewhere because I'm going to tell my testimony. So we're going to continue this. I'm gonna try again. This is still part two, so I'm continuing on from where I left off. This is day 3 of me recording this video, but let's jump back into it. Once the person told whoever, then a lot of people in the school started to find out about it because people cannot keep their mouth shut and they like drama. This is high school. We are talking about what is high school about? Drama. So and then I'm getting bullied. So they was trying to find any and everything that they possibly could to, get on me about. So it was just not a good experience, as you can imagine. I got in a lot of trouble because people would be, like I said, trying to pick fights with me and stuff, and they would be bullying me on social media, and I would be trying to come back, and they didn't like that I was coming back at them. So from that moment, I just really started to lose myself because I was getting bullied. I did not feel loved and supported by my family or by my friends. I had a whole lot of people who called me their friend, but then they bullied me, or they betrayed me, or they were jealous of me and just doing crazy things. So I was just experiencing so much at a young age, right? Like, I was experiencing this stuff in middle school too, but high school is when you are getting older and you're growing and finding you. So I was trying to find myself, but with so much trauma going on, I was losing myself. So I didn't have a lot of support, but after the situation got out at school, I guess one of my favorite teachers heard about it, and she confronted me, and she basically was just really supportive. Long story short, was very supportive. She really looked out for me. She was letting me spend lunch with her and all that. I felt comfortable and safe enough to talk to her, and she is the only one that kept it between me and her. It was confidential, and she kept it confidential, and she never called home. She trusted that I was telling her the truth. There was one time where she called home, but we're going to get to that. But that was a appropriate time to call home. But any and everything else, I was able to talk to her, and she gave me great advice, helpful advice. She always encouraged me, just really looked out for me, did not give up on me. So a lot of people gave up and have given up on me. So that was like a heartwarming feeling to have her there and not giving up on me and not looking at me differently, not treating me differently, none of that. Listen, Murph, I love you. Okay, I gotta shout her out. She already know. I thank her a lot, but look, I'm gonna thank her publicly because she didn't have to do that, but she did. That's who she is. Okay, she was very supportive and helpful for everybody. But even though I had her, I still just felt like a big hole inside me. I felt very empty. I still felt alone, even though I had her. And from those moments, from those feelings, and experiencing so many emotions, I still kept a lot in. Even though I was talking to her, I opened up about a lot that was happening in school and about the situation that was being talked about through school. So it still was like hidden things going on inside of me. So everything wasn't being open. So it was still like eating me away. And from that, I just really started acting wild. I started smoking at a young age. I started drinking at a young age and having sex at a young age because one, I became very hypersexual from that experience. Like once that door opened, it's like, oh, going wild. So like I was craving it more. But even though I wanted it, I did not want it because I was scared. Okay. That's not good. Like the freaking heck. Even though I wanted it, I did not want it. I was scared. I was nervous. I became afraid of guys at that moment. I did not really want to have sex. I just wanted the feeling, even though the feeling that I had was not a good feeling. But I just wanted something that would soothe me. And even if I wanted to stop doing these things, it's like I was just being so tempted from my peers and my cousins. I just saw and heard a lot. I was just trying to fill voids in the wrong places and in the wrong ways. And with all of this, it just became too heavy. Like I was just really tired because I was trying any and everything and it just was not working. I was trying to figure out how are these things like soothing to other people and it ain't working for me. Now I realize it's not even supposed to work for you, okay? But I was so confused, I was so lost, so hurt. That led me to having suicidal ideation. And I believe it was sophomore year when I attempted, and that is when my favorite teacher ended up calling home because she concerned and she like, wait, like what is going on? And I did have a close friend at the time that I ended up telling, and no, she didn't tell nobody else. She was still like trying to pull me out of the place I was in, but like I wasn't going. I'm like, nah, whatever. This is not it for me. So when my mom got that call home, she did talk to me, but of course I told her, nah, she must got a misunderstanding. Nah, it's not like that. But my mom knew, like she wasn't stupid. But I don't really remember all of the details from that, but I do remember the next day my teacher pulled me aside and she was like, have lunch with me because we need to talk. And we ended up talking. I did feel better, but I still had the ideation. Like I just was giving up. I'm like, I'm done. So fast forward to my junior year, this is when things started to really like shift and change for me. Like maybe the end of my junior year, going into my senior year is when things started to change. It's when I really started to seek the Lord more and not look at people, not focus on people really helping me come out of where I was at. I always have been a Christian, but I wasn't always a follower of Christ. So I always have known the Lord. I grew up in church. I've always been different. So when they came to stuff concerning Christianity, it's like I was always more wise and mature than my peers. So I truly believe that my junior year is the moment that God really started like reshaping me and transforming, turning some things around inside of me to really recognize Him. Growing more in Christ at that time, I started to learn obedience and I started to learn God's voice. I started to learn like what His comfort really was, what His love really was. I started to seek like true peace, and I must say God really did show a lot, but it wasn't over. I thought that when I came to him, like it was going to be over. Like I thought that I would be able to just move forward and move past a lot, but I wasn't. That really pissed me off. I ended up, after coming to God, I ended up telling my aunt, my cousin's mother. I ended up telling my aunt. It did not go well. She basically said that she talked to my cousins to ask them what happened, and all of them, of course, denied it and whatnot. And I do remember, like, right before I told my aunt, I did reach out to both of the girl cousins because they are the ones that knew the most. So I reached out to both of them and I asked them, like, hey, would you be able to help me, come out about this experience, because I know that that something happened and it's just really been eating me up. It has changed me, and like I just will feel like more relieved and will feel better and moving forward. Like I'll become free if I'm able to, let this out. I asked them if they remember anything happening. They both said yeah. I literally gave certain experiences and they said they remember it happening. But then when I asked them to help me come out about it to tell their mom, then the oldest daughter came back at me and she basically was saying, oh, you lying. I know my brother and I know when he lost his virginity, we real close like that. And you just lying. You trying to get attention because that's all that you do. I don't know why you would be making up such accusations like this, but you need to go find something else to do. Like just literally going in on me, y'all. And I'm just like, okay. Like, wow. And mind you, this is the one that actually heard it happening, that saw it kind of happening. This is the one. And she the one that was going off on me like she didn't know nothing. I'm like, okay, so I did respond to her. I basically let her know I'm not trying to create like no animosity. Like I'm not trying to do too much. I just want to heal. I told her, something happened and we both know that, but if you don't want to help me, that is fine. I just wanted to see if you would be in a position to, but that's not going to change. You saying that it did not happen is not going to change the fact that it did happen. It's not going to change what God is doing. Like it's not going to change nothing. When I'm like, you don't have to support me if you don't want to. I have God and blah 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 blah. And I just left it at that. I didn't respond no more. So after that, I ended up telling my aunt, and like I said she talked to all of them and everybody denied it, of course. So then she started telling me that she talked to my dad. And he told her what he was telling everybody else, that I had been here before and I was doing this for attention, and he didn't really know what was going on and what was going on with me and blah 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 blah. So my aunt comes back with that and telling me that, and she was saying, this is a serious matter and I don't know why you would be putting something like that on him. I didn't even tell what happened with the daughters. I talked about what happened with her son because one, that's who hurt me the most. So at this moment, here I am, heartbroken again, because I built up the bravery and the courage to be able to face my aunt and talk to her and tell her what was going on, and that was her reaction. I already knew at the time what it was. I knew that she was just really trying to protect her son, and she didn't want to believe and accept that something like that was going on under her roof, and she did not know nothing about it. Like, I could understand her pain. Like, it is emotional. So, like, I mean, I understand, but it's just the way that everybody was always so quick to point the "you're lying" finger and you're trying to get attention. And no one was really trying to pay attention to emotions, body language, what was really being said. Like no one was really trying to pay attention to anything else. And I have to say, like, I have to make this statement now. People do lie about the experience, but the average person does not lie about the experience, whether they are a male or a female who have been through the experience. The average person does not lie about the experience. The average person does end up going through the experience in their youth years, and kids do not lie about that. So if a child is coming to you saying that this has happened, they 9 times out of 10 are not lying about whoever has hurt them. Attention seeker or not, bad child or not, whatever you want to call your child or however you look at them. If they ever come to you saying that somebody has hurt them, or if they give any type of indication, it's just best to really look into the matter and not just right away all of a sudden point the "this ain't true" finger, point the "you're lying, you're trying to get attention" finger. So it was frustrating for me that I've experienced that from so many people that were not even my family. I'm like, I'm sitting here trying to come out and get help, and nobody is believing me. Like, everybody is just taking me as a joke, taking this as a joke. So that really just left me really scarred. After that came out, my family and me became distant. My relationship with everybody was just kind of rocky. Nobody really wanted to be bothered with me. People were mad. When my granny passed away, I think the same year she did. She passed away the same year. My aunt's mom, she passed away the same year on Christmas. And I remember when I went to her funeral, that was the first time in a long time that I had to face my cousin. And I'm just thinking like, oh my gosh, am I ready? Especially after all of this chaos has went on. Like, am I ready for this, Jesus? And I remember being at the funeral. After the funeral, before going to the burial, I was standing around. I saw my girl cousin sitting at the table with my boy cousin, their brother's girlfriend. So they at the table and they just talking and just looking, just talking and looking. And then everybody just looking at me like they got a problem, like, what's wrong with her? Like, that's how they were looking at me, like the high school thing. You know how people be talking and just, looking at you like, I know that you're talking about me. I'm not stupid. Like, what the heck? And so I could tell that girl, the girlfriend, was like probably confused because she was looking concerned, like, I don't know, like, y'all probably, I'm pretty sure they were telling her that I was lying, but she was looking at me like she wanted to come hug me. And so, interestingly, they did not stay together that long. I'm gonna just put that out there. They did not stay together long after that was revealed to her. So they probably was just sitting over there gossiping, and the girl was probably like, maybe I need to leave this too, because maybe I don't know who I got, So the funeral was weird. I did notice different energy, but I didn't really try to let it faze me because I knew that it would occur. I was just focused on, am I able to face my cousin? And I was, but he ain't say nothing to me. I didn't say nothing to him. He barely wanted to make eye contact with me. When he first saw me, he was looking like, damn, I ruined your life. Yes, you did. But no, you didn't, because God came and he picked up the broken pieces, okay? But he looked guilty, basically. He looked guilty. He was acting guilty. And again, nobody was paying attention to these things. Nobody was noticing this. He showed himself. Like, what the heck, man?